When we checked into our hotel in Sydney on Monday morning, our rooms weren't quite ready. So we dropped our bags and headed out for a first view of the Harbour Bridge and the Sydney Opera House. We decided to combine our view enjoyment with a quick lunch at the Opera Kitchen, where I had a satisfyingly refreshing Thai chicken salad.
Thank you.
Are you waiting for anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
That's it?
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Then, after we'd sorted out the rooms, we went straight out to Circular Quay to have a coffee in the outdoor cafe of the Museum of Contemporary Art, reveling in the suddenly warm sunny weather which had greeted us upon our arrival in Sydney. We hadn't made any plans, and decided on the spur of the moment to step into the Museum of Contemporary Art, which turned out to be a very good idea. While we were dropping our backpacks at the cloakroom, I spied a few works of art in a gallery visible from there, which I knew immediately I had to see. We spent the next hour in a small but immensely rewarding exhibit devoted to works by Hilary Mays, an English-born Sydney-based artist who was new to me. I won't paraphrase the brief introductory text describing concisely the focus of her work. There were only 20 works on display, but I was absolutely transfixed by them. I felt so drawn into the works that I unfortunately didn't get close-up photos of the titles of some of the pieces which most fascinated me, but I will still show a small selection, with or without legible labels. When it came to rotation number 1, and even more to its neighbor, Reflection Blue Angel, I found it almost impossible to tear myself away from them, returning over and over to find new angles for ever new perspectives. Hilary Mays's words about her emotional investment with each of her works in physical terms and in time, in the act of making, as well as feeling bereft when a work is finished, also resonated very strongly with me. My finances, most regrettably, do not permit me to involve myself in the art market. But if I were to win a large sum in a lottery, my first expenditure would be to seek out works by Hilary Mays, to be able to look at them regularly and immerse myself in the unending revelations they offer the eye. In another gallery on the ground floor, there were works by 8 young Australian artists under the title Primavera 2017. I found these works by Nicole Forshew particularly entrancing. Howard and I decided we needed some sugar to help us absorb all the amazing art we had just been inspired by. So we whisked ourselves up to the rooftop cafe in the lift for some excellent pâtisserie. We also discovered some of the best views of Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Sydney Opera House from the rooftop. I also appreciated the whimsical Weather Vane by Caroline Rothwell, entitled Composer 2016. After we'd left the museum, we wandered through the Rocks towards the southern end of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. I'm intrigued by the visible engineering on the undersides of such bridges, and it's possible to walk a long way underneath the bridge before it actually spans the water. Above us was a group coming back from a harbour bridge climb. We presumed the cheering from the terrace of the Harbour View Hotel behind us was probably for the returning group. Elsewhere, there were signs, probably necessary, warning people of the dangers of, and penalties for, autonomous climbing on any parts of the bridge. The views of the Opera House don't wear thin, no matter what the vantage point is, or the light. By now, we had circled back around to the Museum of Contemporary Art. We had both wanted to investigate the museum shop at our leisure, but the museum and shop had both closed, so we had to postpone this plan to the next day. Meanwhile, it was time to direct our steps back to our hotel, consider an early cocktail venue, and continue on to our dinner at the fish and seafood restaurant Cirrus. All the details of that spectacular dinner will be in my next video.